G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. This is another one from these two guys. We've got Divine who spawns in the north on the purple playing as the Rus, and a little bit of a reversal from the first game that we saw. It's GiveUA in the Holy Roman Empire green, and doesn't that look absolutely gorgeous? I love that green color. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't played a ranked game yet, but when I do, it's going to be in the color green, or at least I think it will be in the green. Hopefully I don't get sniped and it's not in the green, but you guys know ranked is obviously taken place, and plenty of people are out on the ladder at the moment, but we got a lovely little show match between these two guys coming through. So this is game number 3 in the series between these two guys. I don't actually know who hosted the show match, so if you know, leave a comment down below and I'll make sure that I give them a reference, and hopefully you guys will go over and check them out because I love what they are throwing down and I'm more than willing to pick it up. So let's talk a little bit about this matchup. This is what we saw in the first series, or in the first game in this series between these two guys. It was on King of the Hill. Obviously, it's on Highview now. Highview, a map much more favored towards the Rus. So Divine going to be very happy with that little pickup. We see his first scout out already, second scout up towards the north, and third scout now coming down towards the south. He's yet to move over to his enemy side of the map, which on this map is something that you do look to typically do. You try and get over to that enemy side as quickly as possible. Always try and find those sacred sites as well, because that is where your wolves are going to be. So typically the wolves are going to be snuck up into these little corners around the sacred site. We can see down here, there's plenty of wolves to be had over on this this eastern sacred site. I don't know why they hang out on the sacred sites. I guess because, you know, typically, you know, people asked, I remember early on that there was a post on Reddit. Somebody said, what's the point of wolves? There's literally no point. Villagers just kill them. They're just annoying. And my response to that was, well, it's actually to deal with monks, because monks, obviously or monks, however you pronounce it, they can't defend themselves. So you've got to deal with those wolves. So if you head out to a relic, there might be a wolf on there, and as a result, it's one of those mechanics that just basically says, well, you might get punished. And it's a little bit of an RNG factor, but to be honest, I think that there are ways that you can mitigate it. But GiveUA going to be picking up 3 wolves from the eastern side of the map. He's going to be heading down to the south, but a second scout going to be coming in from Divine. I'm going to be looking to snatch these away. Now, unfortunately, even though we are running the improved spectator UI, one of the failings or the shortcomings of it is we don't have the ability to see how much bounty we've got on Divine, but I'm going to assume on a map like this, he's probably hitting some pretty decent numbers. Now, we're able to click on the villages and see that he's already got the bounty bonus, so he's already sitting at well over 100. We can assume that much, but obviously we're just going to keep watching and pay attention, because each kill he gets on a wolf here, it is going to be a good thing. He needs to try and take it out before it actually gets into the range of the town center. He's going to try for it. The town center going to be able to fire off, and looks like he secures the kill, GiveUA, with the scout, so very nice there for him. Plenty of villagers tapping away at this landmark. Have a look at that. I don't think I've ever seen 8 villagers making the Aachen Chapel. This is going to be a super early age up here for GiveUAnxiety, and I think this is quite interesting because a lot of people do look to rush up the Aachen Chapel, but the way I think about it is, like, realistically, what is the bonus that you're gaining from having it up super fast? I don't think it's that big, because the prelate is already able to buff up the majority of villagers that you've got. Right now we can see that he's got 15 villagers. The prelate, I think, buffs up 10 villagers before that inspiration comes off cooldown. So I feel like you're really not sure, you're gaining like an extra 5 villagers potentially that are being buffed up, but you're losing a lot of villager seconds here. I guess the other alternative is that GiveUA is using this as a lumber camp, so he doesn't have to gather up that 50 wood. You can see he's just using it as his lumber camp here. It's a good little spot that he's got as well. He'll be able to hit the berries, hopefully, if the mill, I don't know where he's going to put the mill, maybe just put the mill right here. And then that way you get the berries, get the town center, get the wood line, and you get the gold, of course. But GiveUA now moving over plenty of villagers towards that wood line. A lot of villagers out there. We can see 8 villagers at the moment on wood, 8 on food, rather. Over on the other side of the map, Divine, though, he is looking to age up. He's got 6 villagers on that Golden Gate. Plenty of villagers on both of these landmarks for these guys. A little bit of a slower age up here for him. He did train an additional scout in the first age, rather. Looks like the hunting cabin going to be providing 18 gold a minute. Not too bad. Not too shabby. And now moves out over onto the gold vein. So this could be a potential sign of things to come. Typically, you'd expect if he's going in for that gold vein. Actually, do we have a wheelbarrow through? Yeah, we've got a wheelbarrow through already. So, yeah, we can sort of guess exactly where he was sitting on when it comes to that resource count. I'm going to go about 350, though. I think that's probably where he's about, just judging by the gold that he's got in there, 62. So the 100 for the age up, the 150 for wheelbarrow, and then 62 sitting there. Oh, you know what? Probably about just over 300, I would guess. So there you go. That's the quick math done right there. But GiveUA going to be on the defensive this game, I suspect. We talked about it in the first game, but I'll just reiterate it. This is going to be a matchup based on the relics. It's all about the relics when it comes to this. You've heard the song before. It's all about the Pentiums. Well, it's not the case here. It is all about the relics. Interestingly, no villager garrison right here. Okay, there's the villager garrison, but it might be a little bit too late. I think he's actually going to get it off. Scout going to be going down. Divine going to be losing an early scout there. But we do see double stable coming down for him on the other side of the map. So I'm curious what direction he goes with this. Only 4 villagers on the gold, so it definitely seems like it might be horsemen rather than knights. But we'll have to wait and see how he plays it, because GiveUA going to be doing much of the same thing as we actually see a barracks stable opening from him. And I love this. I think this is such a smart move to be going for this. The barracks stable is such a great opening as the Holy Roman Empire, which, oh my god, we see the archery range coming down. GiveUA doing the 1-1-1 with the Holy Roman Empire. Just when you thought this man couldn't do 1-1-1 more, he pulls it out with the Holy Roman Empire, a civilization that is rarely seeing this kind of action. But looks like the ball going to get pulled back. GiveUA lures it, but now we've got the horseman out here as well. You can see he's going to be looking to cause havoc. Horseman trying its best to come around. It's going to snipe out the first scout right on board with Divine as he experiences the wrath here. But more units going to be coming out towards this position. Looks like he's picked off a couple of sheep that were following him as well. You can see the villagers slowly but steadily losing their health, but in addition to that, we've got a horseman that goes down, and things are not good right now for Divine. GiveUA gets surrounded in the corner, probably not the best case scenario, and it looks like he is taking out a scout. We also see an early knight coming through. An outpost going to get dropped down here for GiveUA as well, and it looks like Divine is not going to be able to spot it, at least just yet. Oh, the knight's running down. It looks like they're going to be able to spot it now, and with that, oh my lord, it's so damn close. It is so damn close to being found out. If that outpost goes up, things are going to be terrible here for Divine, which will almost certainly prevent this from being a big threat. Now the outpost gets discovered, but it's going to be too late. The villagers immediately jump inside, and with that, the secret of GiveUA has been revealed. His deepest and darkest secret, the hunting cabin, gets cancelled. And GiveUA looks to take the center. Oh, this is absolutely huge for GiveUA. GiveUA was hiding in the closet, hiding in the stealth forest rather, for so long. That was perfect. The GiveUA secret right there. That was absolutely perfectly played. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. A knight on this side, a knight on that side. He came so close to losing it all. You couldn't, like, there's just no one who does it better than him. He really just does it impressively well. But we'll check in with him and see how he's doing. Looks like he's got plenty of wood coming in at the moment. 9 villagers back here at the moment working on that wood line. Actually, I just realized we can see the upgrades in the top left-hand corner. I must have missed that in the earlier game that we watched. I don't think I could see... Actually, you know what? I realized where production is now. I was going crazy in that last game. I can't believe I didn't realize. Production is actually listed up here. It's the small number, the number at the top. The number down the bottom is how many units are actually out. The number at the top is how many units are in queue or in production. So for GiveUA, you can see he's got 5 spearmen, but one of them is in production, and the reason why is because they've got the hardened upgrade, and this one was probably queued up before the hardened upgrade came through. So technically he's making a Dark Age spearman, but you can see it now joins the rest of them in the hardened sphere. GiveUA now moving in, plenty of units here. He's got the 1-1-1 composition. You just gotta love GiveUA. It's classic GiveUA. Look, it's predictable GiveUA, but at the same time, it's strong GiveUA. I mean, at the moment, GiveUA sits on the ladder at about rank 20. So there's a reason why he goes for these kind of strong openings here. But now it looks like Divine going to be moving out towards his east side. Dropping down the wooden fortress first, and then going for the hunting cabin after. Looking to play it safe. He knows he's up against the Holy Roman Empire. GiveUA's got cavalry out on the field. A raid could be coming in at any time, but we start to see the archery range coming down here for Divine. So GiveUA looking to play this opening here, this 1-1-1 opening. And I gotta be honest, I'm loving it so far. Knight's gonna be running in, GiveUA unattentive in the base, but unfortunately loses a villager there. Second villager might go down here as the town center begins. Oh my lord, look at the town center firing out arrows. It's like a Gatling gun. Look at it go. You know, I remember a video I posted. It was about the English town center being a Gatling gun. Well, what we didn't realize is, so not only does the English town center fire double the amount of arrows of every other civilization, but it was also working correctly in that it was firing an arrow for every garrison slot that was occupied. So that means if you had 20 villagers in the town center, it fired an extra 20 arrows ×2. Whereas other civilizations, for whatever reason, it was bugged at 13. So there was no difference in the amount of arrows that were fired between 13 garrisoned villages and 20 garrisoned villages. And that was a bug that has been fixed. But I guess that just goes to illustrate, exactly why that English TC was considered such a Gatling gun. It really, it was kind of like the French Red Palace in a way. It was just something that you couldn't mess with in the early game. But speaking of messing with in the early game, we've got a triple range coming out here from Divine. We'll have a look and see what upgrades he's got. It doesn't look like he's got the wood upgrades. Still only just the wheelbarrow. So not going for anything like the Guz build at the moment. The third range definitely going to help him out in this position. But just going to be sticking with that standard French composition that we do see out of a lot of the French players. We saw GiveUA in the last game pulling that one out. The Royal Knight plus Archer build. Well, it's going to be the same thing here. It's just going to be early Knights coming out. But now Divine going to be losing a Villager. Macy! Villager going to go down. And with that, the Wooden Fortress gets cancelled. GiveUA going to be very happy. Prevents that food from being taken. And he knows Divine is somewhat on the ropes when it comes to his food control. So Divine going to be looking to try and, I suspect, get up to the second, or the third age rather, as quickly as possible and try and get control of these relics. It seems like GiveUA is definitely giving it to him in the Feudal Age, though. This is something that we haven't seen for a while. And for me, I think the interesting thing is GiveUA hasn't gone second TC. And I feel like as the Holy Roman Empire, you really want to go for a second TC. It's difficult to punish a second TC with the Holy Roman Empire because of emergency repairs. Emergency repairs enables you to just heal up. If you put a proxy TC down, let's say you drop your... There's a literal boar right here, GiveUA, and you've just left it. You've just gotten up and moved out to the other boar? Okay, mad respect to GiveUA. He's like, I don't need no boar. I got my own boar. I got a boar out over here on the western flank. Who needs boars in the middle of the map? But I guess the point is that you can drop down a town center out here, and if your enemy, through some crazy step looks to challenge it with potential ram or something like that, you've got emergency repairs, and they're going to need at a minimum 2 to 3 rams to actually deal any damage to that. I mean, they can try and push him with 1 ram. You will perpetually heal that bad boy. They can try and push him with 2 rams. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. You're going to need to balance it with a couple of villagers repairing. But the realistic thing is, like, they're not going to be able to take it down as long as you've got a military presence there as well. And you're able to leverage that with that second town center. So I know that GiveUA's got a certain style that he likes to play. It's that 1 TC, 1-1-1 build that he's doing here. But I feel like adding in the second TC would really help him out as he begins to wall up around the map now. We see the relics getting slowly but steadily walled up. And this is so cute, isn't it? The way that he walls it in. This is just the secret GiveUA strategy coming into play right now. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love the way that he plays it. But Divine now, over on the other side of the map, might be looking for a bit of a push out. He's got a decent archer mass. Archer mass? Yeah, I said that right. I felt like I didn't say that right. One of the things to note is that Divine is missing scouting information. And that kind of sucks because Divine has got access to the scout through the hunting cabin. So basically, well, not even basically, he just can train it without affecting his military production at all. And that kind of hurts because he's lost. We saw him lose that scout earlier. That would have provided him a lot of intel because he's got really no clue what GiveUA's up to. He could be 3 TC right now. He could be 1 TC. He could be going castle. There's so many potential things that he could be doing, and that could really stuff up Divine. So he's going to have to play this perfectly if he wants to bring this one out. But Knight's now going to be moving in towards the villagers on the gold mine. Manages to trap out a couple of spears in here as well, but he's got so many Knights, he's going to be easily able to clean that up. Loses a handful of villagers there. But now doing a decent job of digging into that wood line. Right on board in the middle of the map. GiveUA going to be sending back units towards that position. Did he? He didn't lose a villager. The villager just decided to go idle. Probably not a good not a good time to go idle when the last palisade wall is just unbuilt, chilling out. Not a good time, especially when there are knights in the area. But GiveUA now going to be finding those knights. Manages to pick off the first one. He's got a handful of horsemen that are going to be biting off way too much and do indeed look to concede that ground. We'll check in with Divine and see how he's doing as his forces continue patrolling around the map. We're still yet to see any scouts coming out from him, just absolutely clueless about where, what, and who GiveUA is and what he's doing. But beautiful engagement down here for GiveUA, and charge comes off, but Divine going to be losing another knight. So that's 2 knights going down for him. It looks like a recharge going to be coming out here for Divine as he falls back away from this position. GiveUA obviously running that standard GiveUA comp, the 1-1-1. It is classic GiveUA. But now we've seen just more units continuing to come out. No real signs of a third age coming through for either of these players yet. GiveUA continuing to wall up every single relic in the middle of the map. We've got 3 walled in completely now. He's got a 4th one up towards this northern position, but I think he knows that there's no chance that it actually gets picked up. All right, well, the knights now moving in with the archers together, looking to try and force back a couple of these villages. There doesn't seem to be too much on the front side. Obviously, gold veins still got plenty of gold in it, but the mining camps, or the hunting camps, the mining camps, the lumber camps. Let's go with lumber camps, Strongo. Are now outside the range of that wooden fortress. Oh my god, I'm losing it right now. Outside the range of that Aachen Chapel. But GiveUA just waits patiently. Starting to add more production in. Still on that 1 TC, at least I suspect he is. I'll have to double check. I can't imagine this guy's got onto his stone mine, at least not this early in the game. Indeed, he hasn't. It's sitting on 1200 at the moment. He's going to be looking at the units in the middle of the map. We'll take a look at how Divine's doing back here. As Divine slowly but steadily burns this down, he's got absolutely no vision, no knowledge of what potentially awaits him. And indeed, it is going to be a whole bunch of horsemen just coming out of the woodwork. No spearmen in sight. And GiveUA looks to just completely roll over his enemy now. The horseman numbers are being thinned quite effectively by the archers. We don't see +1 ranged attack coming through for his opponent, but GiveUA going to fall back away from this position. Probably just appreciating the fact that there wasn't really a lot of cavalry that he had there, and decent micro coming out from Divine in this early stage of the game. He's got beautiful macro as well. All resources sitting under 100 at this point. Both of these players demonstrating why they are currently sitting at top 20, top 30 respectively in the ladder, in the ranked ladder. But we continue. We watch. We wait. We look to see if either of these players is going to be blinking. But when it comes to position at the moment, you probably have to give it over to Divine. Even though his economy... And actually, this is an interesting point. Why is GiveUA's economy so much lower than Divine's? Did Divine have a second TC when I wasn't looking? It doesn't seem like it. I only see a single TC on that minimap. GiveUA lost villages. We saw that down here. He lost a couple. He lost one over here. I didn't think it was that many. I didn't think it was 7 villages. That's a lot of villages to lose. But his economy is obviously going to be buffed up by that Aachen Chapel, but I don't think that's going to be enough to make up for it. But villages out on this boar in the middle, I think GiveUA are finally realizing now, looking for a bit of an engagement in the middle. Stealth forest visibility, definitely going to be a top priority for the developers to fix that one up, but he quickly makes his way through. Now continuing to push down upon those archers. The mass here looking healthy for Divine. He's got 40 archers, more than enough to one-shot those horsemen. You can see 3 damage. Actually, is that more than enough? It might not be. Yeah, it is more than enough. 3 damage, a pop, 120. Actually, I think they got 125 health, don't they? 125 health? 125 health? Can I get a 125 health? This is a 125 health. He doesn't have enough to one-shot it. He's going to be doing only 120 damage. So, unfortunately, just under enough. But the spearmen going to be coming out, looking to meet up against these early knights. Archers continue pushing forward, looking to pick them off on the backside. Spearmen getting a good little fight right now, but the archers, unfortunately, getting completely engulfed. Look at the amount of knights that are here. I'm going to try and do a spin to win. Look at the knight numbers for Divine. Looking incredibly strong. And GiveUA going to have to fall back away from this position. He's trying his best to hold on, but unfortunately going to be losing out that boar, and with that, going to be giving it over to his enemy. So the consequence of not taking that boar earlier, a little bit of a mistake from GiveUA, going for this boar instead. No survival techniques nor horticulture picked up for him, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Divine immediately move villagers down towards this boar, towards his position, and looking to take it. But now we see GiveUA on the back foot. Things not looking good for him now. Archers getting chased away. Villagers also getting chased away. A couple spearmen going to be able to meet him and defend it. Manages to hold on for a little bit of time. Divine looking good, though. Going to be able to camp the production, at least begin sieging it down. We'll check in with him and see whether he's got that siege engineering just yet. Still not researched. Still no +1 ranged armor yet either. He's got +1 melee armor, which is curious. But no +1 ranged armor. Knights moving forward. They're hunting for those villagers. He's going to be able to find them. Oh no, GiveUA. He hasn't read the room. GiveUA losing a villager. He's going to be losing plenty more as Divine now comes through. You can see GiveUA spots this out. He knows exactly what is happening. Ideally, what he needs to do is look to try and wall himself in. But unfortunately, those villagers, if they go down, this is going to be difficult for GiveUA. He's already behind 11 villagers. And with this, it only seems to cement that even further. GiveUA, as a result, looks to push onto the enemy army. And those villagers do indeed stay alive. But Knights come back in. GiveUA, unfortunately, going in a little bit too early and losing even more units. The villager count really starting to drop. He needs to find something to get him back into the game. So what does GiveUA need right now? He needs a hero. No, he needs a horseman raid. That's going to be the big thing for him. GiveUA needs to try his best to pull this back through a horseman raid at this point in time, in my opinion. So look to try and target the food resources of his enemy. So where would you go? Would you go berries? Well, they're probably exhausted by now. Would you go deer? Probably exhausted by now, but we can check. You can go and see that. Has he hasn't scouted the berries. Good thing, there's no berries over there. Has he scouted the deer over here? He has. Well, good news. There's no deer over there. Realistically, the main threat, it's going to be this one right here. But obviously the wooden fortress on top of that. You can see Divine's playing this very safely. He wants to make sure that he does not lose any villages. He's built a pretty substantial lead here. He's got about 20 more villages than GiveUA. So he looks to try and hold on even more. GiveUA still yet to cancel this outpost in the center. Honestly, I'd just leave it. Oh, actually, you know what? I'd just take it out. Just take it out. Just knock it out. But now we see Divine moving up towards his position. Outpost going to go down. GiveUA not going to cancel it, unfortunately. Losing those resources there. And GiveUA, at this point in time, just continues to hold. Population difference looking pretty sour for GiveUA. Down 25 population. A lot of that is villagers, though, but that's going to contribute mainly to the follow-up, not necessarily to the army right now. Army right now, pretty decent size. A lot of spears, a lot of archers. He likes to play it the same way he likes to play his English. A lot of archers. But now Divine on the move. A lot of archers for him as well. Look at this. Still no sign of an H3 coming through. These guys both love to lock it in on Feudal. No signs of second town centers either. For either of these players, we don't see any second town center coming out actually in any of these games. Do we see it? Maybe for the English one, that was it. But geez Louise, these guys love to play the 1TC. Only a handful of horsemen just going to continue to kite it back. And they're just completely eaten alive. Spearmen going to be moving forward. But as you guys know, when the archer numbers are this thick and difficult to deal with, it's just going to be very, very hard for these spearmen to really make a lasting connection with the knights. Continues to dance them around, tries his best. A knight runs through back to the other side. He picks up the reinforcements over on that eastern flank, but the knight numbers looking so good and so strong. The spearmen still not fighting against the knights. Archer's just going to be picking them off. You can see them focusing them down. He's doing a decent job, but the knight numbers looking very good. Divine in a great spot here. He's up 16 villagers. The population difference is massive between these two guys, and GiveUA now going to start to get camped on his production, and this is where it starts to go really downhill for him. The population difference is absolutely massive, double right now, when GiveUA may potentially be bowing out shortly. I suspect that, and now the ram comes down. This is where it starts to get really heavy. Knights need to turn their attention towards these buildings, and indeed they do that. But now the second battering ram going to be coming down. Divine looking very good, very healthy with these upgrades, and this is going to be tough for GiveUA to hold. You can see him, hear him pumping out units just non-stop, but the reality is his economy is nowhere near that of Divine. He's going to try his best to hold on, but I don't think it's going to be enough. What do you even do in this position? I think, like, maybe had you gone to age 3, maybe had you got a second TC a bit sooner, it would have helped, but good game just does get called. GiveUA going to be tapping out. Divine going to be taking it. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you check out GiveUA. I'll leave a link in the description. And make sure you check out the pinned comment. Hopefully, we've found out exactly who ran this show match so we can send them over some love. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.